Disease, one of humanity's oldest and most persistent fears. It has haunted civilization since the beginning, an invisible force that weakens the body, disrupts daily life, and even shakes entire societies. From ancient times to the present, illness has been not only a physical affliction, but also a profound psychological and spiritual challenge. The search for healing, then, has always been more than a quest for medicine. It's been a journey through rituals, beliefs, and acts of hope that reveal the deepest yearnings of the human spirit. Today, we'll journey into this mysterious world, a world shaped by quarantine and purification, shamanic ceremonies and whispered prayers, a world where the search for a cure is as much about community and meaning as it is about science and remedies. In the earliest days, long before microscopes and laboratories, the true nature of illness was a mystery. People didn't know about bacteria or viruses. Instead, sickness was often seen as something supernatural, perhaps an attack from hidden forces, evil spirits lurking in the shadows, or even the wrath of the gods themselves. To fall ill was more than a bodily misfortune. It was a cosmic event, a disruption in the balance between the human and the divine, the seen and the unseen. Because of this, healing was never just about the body. It was about the soul, the mind, the relationships that bound a person to their family and community. Imagine for a moment feeling feverish and weak in a time when no doctor could offer a clear diagnosis. You'd turn not just to herbs or potions, but to the elders, the healers, the priests. You'd seek not only relief from pain, but comfort, reassurance, and hope. In many ways, even today, we do the same. When we're sick, we crave not only medicine, but also encouragement, kindness, and the gentle rituals that say, "You're not alone, you can get through this." Those ancient rituals, born in darkness and uncertainty, were the earliest reflections of this timeless need. As human societies grew and cities flourished, the threat of epidemic disease became all too real. The Black Death, smallpox, cholera, these were not distant rumors, but everyday realities, shaping the lives and deaths of millions. In response, people turned to one of the oldest and most enduring forms of protection: quarantine. The very word quarantine has its roots in the Italian word quaranta, meaning 40. During the Middle Ages, as plague ravaged Europe, ships arriving at ports like Venice and Dubrovnik were kept isolated for 40 days before anyone could disembark. But this was not just a health precaution, it was also a ritual, steeped in symbolism and belief. The number 40 appears again and again in religious and cultural traditions. 40 days of Lent, 40 days and nights of rain in the story of Noah, 40 days of mourning in many societies. To set aside 40 days was to mark a threshold, a time of purification, waiting, and hope for renewal. Even now, echoes of this ancient logic linger in our lives. The idea of quarantine, of separating the sick from the healthy, has become a cornerstone of public health. But it's more than just science. It's also a collective act, a ritual that signals care, caution, and the hope for cleansing and recovery. The roots of this practice remind us that healing has always been intertwined with belief, with the sense that beyond the physical, there is something sacred about the passage through illness and back to health. Across continents and centuries, people have turned to special individuals, shamans, medicine men and women, healers, who seem to stand at the boundary between the visible and invisible worlds. These figures were more than doctors. They were guides, counselors, ritual leaders who could navigate the mysteries of sickness and health. In countless societies, shamanic healing ceremonies brought together the wisdom of nature, the power of the mind, and the strength of community. Imagine the beating of drums, the swirling of smoke from sacred herbs, the rhythmic chants that fill the air as a shaman moves around the patient. The rituals might involve drawing out the spirit of illness, driving away harmful forces, or restoring balance to the soul. In some African tribes, the healing process became a communal dance. with music and song weaving together the physical and spiritual energies needed for recovery. Whether or not these rituals cured disease in a medical sense, they offered something just as important: hope. They gave the sick a reason to believe, a sense of being cared for, of not facing their suffering alone. The psychological and emotional power of such rituals is undeniable. The mind and spirit, after all, play a profound role in the process of healing. The energy, attention, and sense of possibility that rituals bring can be as vital as any medicine. In medieval Europe, the arrival of the Black Death brought terror and confusion. With no understanding of germs, people turned to the tools they knew: prayer, repentance, and ritual. Religious processions wound through the streets, with crowds singing hymns and begging for mercy. In some places, the doors of the sick were marked with special symbols, sometimes as warnings to others, sometimes as pleas for divine protection. These acts, part practical and part symbolic, helped communities make sense of the chaos. Even the simple act of lighting a candle, hanging a charm, or carrying a talisman against the evil eye was a means of asserting some control over the uncontrollable. If you think about it, many of these practices survive in modern forms. We still hang charms, wear lucky tokens, or use symbolic gestures to ward off misfortune. The impulse to do something, to mark ourselves or our homes as protected, to reach for the comfort of ritual in moments of crisis, is as old as humanity itself. These rituals are not relics. They are living traditions, woven into the fabric of daily life. With the rise of science and modern medicine, you might expect that rituals would fade away. Yet in reality, they remain as vital as ever. Today's healing rituals may look different, but their essence is unchanged. When someone brings soup to a sick friend, writes "get well soon" in a card, or lights a candle for a loved one in the hospital, they are performing rituals of care. When families gather around a patient, when prayers are said or comforting words are spoken, we see the same ancient desire to bring not only medicine, but hope and strength. Hospitals themselves are filled with ritual. The routines of hand washing, the donning of gowns and masks, the careful order of treatment, all are structured practices meant to protect and heal. Even the language we use, calling someone a patient, speaking of recovery, a convalescence, and remission, carries echoes of older ways of understanding illness and renewal. Technology may bring new cures, but it doesn't erase the emotional and spiritual dimensions of sickness. In times of crisis, when a pandemic sweeps the globe, or when a loved one falls unexpectedly ill, we turn instinctively to ritual. We reach for the comfort of tradition, the reassurance of familiar gestures, the healing power of hope. What then is the common thread that links all these rituals, from ancient shamanic ceremonies to modern words of encouragement? It is hope. Hope that the body can recover, that the spirit can endure, that tomorrow will be brighter. Hope that we are not alone in our suffering. Whether in the isolation of quarantine, the sacred rhythms of a healing drum, or the quiet support of a friend's visit, rituals remind us that healing is possible. Rituals work in part because they create connection. They link us to others, family, friends, community, ancestors, and even the divine. They give structure to chaos, meaning to suffering, and possibility to despair. When a person is sick, it's easy to feel isolated and powerless. Rituals draw a circle around the patient, a circle of care and intention that says, "You matter, we are here, we believe you can heal." Consider, for example, the tradition of bringing offerings to the sick. In some cultures, it's food or flowers. In others, it might be a handwritten note, a shared story, or a simple touch. These acts are not just about material comfort. They are about transmitting strength, sharing burdens, and building hope. The ritual itself becomes a medicine. Or think of the ways communities respond to outbreaks and epidemics. Quarantine, once a matter of superstition and sacred numbers, is now a tool of science. But it is still a ritual of collective care, a way for society to say, "We will protect each other, even at great cost." The sacrifices made during quarantine are rituals of solidarity, affirming that every life is valuable. Even in the most high-tech medical environments, rituals persist. Doctors and nurses develop routines for visiting patients, for delivering news, for saying goodbye. Patients adopt rituals too, counting pills, following exercise programs, marking each small victory on the path to recovery. These are the rituals of perseverance, the slow and steady rituals of hope. In the end, whether we look to ancient ceremonies or modern medicine, the message is the same. Healing is not just a physical process, it is a journey of the body, mind, and spirit. And on this journey, rituals are our companions, reminders that we are part of something larger, that we are cared for, and that even in the darkest moments, hope endures. So as we reflect on the long story of humanity's search for healing, from quarantine to shamanic rites, from medieval processions to hospital visits, we see the same fundamental truth: to heal is to hope. Every ritual, every act of care, every gesture of support is a testament to the enduring power of hope. If you find yourself drawn to the hidden stories of mystical and cultural rituals, you are not alone. There is a world of forgotten traditions, of secrets waiting to be rediscovered, each one a thread in the tapestry of human resilience and imagination. Each week, we explore these traditions together, unearthing the wisdom of the past to inspire the present. And who knows, the next ritual you learn may not only change the way you think about healing, it may also change the way you live, reminding you that in every act of care, every moment of hope, you are part of humanity's never-ending search for the cure.